Hey lovelies, it's Kate. Welcome back to another video. I hope you are all doing well and it's time for another mention. But first I want to mention my last video because I finally made the tool mod tutorial and I've been using the tool mod for the longest time now, and I have been teasing the tool mod tutorial for a long while as well, and finally it's here. So in case you've missed it, it's my last video. I'm going to link it down below in the description box. I mention it right away because a lot of people have been asking me about this, and I've been building these 4 round rooms and all that, so I want to let you know in case you've missed it. It's finally here, and in this tutorial I talk about all kinds of different things: how to create these round rooms using windows, how to tilt objects, and just everything. I cover the whole mod, so I just want to mention this because I'm also going to use the tool mod in this video here. Of course I do. I'm just addicted to this mod. I've mentioned this before, it's become a staple for me. I can totally recommend it, but here this time I've tried something new, and this is why I have called this build the triangle mention. So what I did was I used these huge Moschino stuff pack wall dividers. Well, technically they aren't that huge. I just sized them up a lot and then I tilted them a little bit, and this way I was able to create this kind of triangular shape. So there's a lot of tool magic going on in this video, and it's been a lot of fun to build this. So the idea for the whole build was the wall divider. I suddenly had the idea to size up this wall divider and to just rotate it so I could use it as some type of really huge window. So I figured it would be a great idea. It looks amazing. I could create some type of sunroom situation, just like I've done with the fake round rooms that I created. I say fake because technically it's not a closed room. I just like to use all these windows to create a round shape, so it's not a fully enclosed room, and it's some type of sunroom. I like to put a table in there, maybe a barbecue grill, and that's it. So I wanted to do something similar, and I wanted the eye catch of this build to be this huge rotated wall divider, and I've actually used 2 of them. But then I also figured it would be amazing if I would rotate them a bit more so they have this triangular shape, and I don't know, there's a lot of eye-catching stuff here. Then I also incorporated another triangular shape at the top with a checkered pattern, and I've also used a lot of elements which are pretty common for my modern builds. For example, the Get Famous pristine pedestal, the spotty stony goodness slab, so a lot of familiar objects when it comes to my modern builds. But I also wanted to try something new, so I figured the whole wall divider idea would be amazing. And as I've just explained, and as you can see here, there are these 2 huge wall dividers which are laying on the side technically, and this room is of course not fully closed as I've explained, and I built some type of walkway on the inside, like some type of bridge, and the inside is really just a place to chill. I'm going to place a couple of lounge chairs in there and a table and some chairs, just a place to hang out and chill, including some palm trees. As I said, I made sure that these wouldn't be glitching through the glass and the ceiling, so I had to size them down a little bit. And here I'm working on the triangular wall dividers. Here they don't really look as triangular as the end result because I'm going to lower them into the ground a little bit more, so it looks more like a triangular shape, at least a little bit. Here it just looks like a tilted rectangle, but the more I lower it to the ground, and I'm also going to add the spotty monolith on the side, it has more of a triangular shape. And here I'm working on the other 2 triangular shapes. I just figured it would be amazing to incorporate more of them, and then, I don't know, it was just a natural process. I just added more and more, and as you can see here, once again I was just adding more stuff to the build, and it looks a bit chaotic, so I just had to figure out what's going on here. I also couldn't decide which windows to use because I really wanted this area here to stand out a little bit. I wanted this to be a bit darker. I used a black wall color for this area, and I wanted there to be some really eye-catching windows in the center. It's like some type of tower on the left side, and I just had no idea what was going on. And I've been working on this for a couple of days, and I just made more and more decisions each day. Sometimes, I don't know, I just start building and then I finish a whole build within a couple of hours depending on the size, but sometimes a build doesn't come along as quickly or as natural. I don't know. I mean, the triangle situation was kind of natural, as I said, but I just really had to piece this build together. There are a lot of elements which I wouldn't use normally, but I just thought, hey, I want something fun, I want something new and fresh. I used the Moschino Stuff Pick wallpaper, which has a really fun pattern on these kind of areas, on these little nooks. They almost look like columns, but I just used walls for them. It was a lot of fun to work on this, and the whole floor plan was also super crazy, as you will see later. And here I decided to have a lot of fun with the roof. So if you want to do this, you can just use a half wall, use the sledgehammer tool to get rid of the floor in the center, and then you can create a really fun pattern using half walls or maybe a fence. And I just wanted this area to be a bit more green, so I added a couple of palm trees here, which is also why I added some to these sunrooms, because I don't know, it just looked really modern and I don't know, really cold and sterile kind of, and I wanted to add a bit of happiness and a bit of greenery here and there. And here I'm working on this fun pattern. If you want to do this yourself, press Ctrl and F on your keyboard while you are placing a floor. This way you can fill half a tile with any color really, and then you can create a lot of fun patterns. Technically, for this type of pattern, you don't even have to use the F shortcut, but here I built this diagonally, so I had to use it, otherwise it wouldn't look right. I mean, kind of confusing to explain, but if you want to create this pattern, you don't have to do this usually, but if you want to create this diagonally, then just press Ctrl and F so you can fill half a tile, and then you can just create any type of pattern. These bushes that I just placed at the triangle are debug objects. Of course, I had to use a lot of them once again. And here I'm working on the front of the house. So whenever I'm building in Del Sol Valley in the Pinnacles, which is what I did here on the big 64 by 64 lot, I always start in the back. The lighting is just perfect in Del Sol Valley. I can totally recommend it for screenshots and just anything. Whenever you just need good lighting, Del Sol Valley it is, especially in the morning hours. It's just perfect. But the front has horrible lighting, and sometimes I just don't even know if it really looks good, if it's just the lighting. It has no depth because there are no shadows. It just looks horrible. Whenever you are on a lot in this game where the lighting is bad, the whole build looks bad, and it's really difficult to figure out what's going on, in my opinion, which is why, I don't know, just love to start in the back, and then I see if the whole style, if the whole design works out, and then I just continue to work on the front of the house. And here I'm adding a dine out object. It's a wall decoration, and I just used it to have just a bit of extra detail here and there. When you are placing a very small half wall, you can just attach this object to the wall, which makes it really easy to work with it. But of course you could also just place it freely anywhere, just like I did at the wall divider, so you can use it for all kinds of different things. It comes in different swatches, of course, and I just love this object. In the very beginning I didn't want to use any wood, but as you guys know, whenever I'm building something modern, I usually incorporate a lot of wood. It just makes a modern build look so much warmer, so much more inviting, and I just couldn't stop myself. So I just added these wall decorations and then also some wood floors. And here at this point you can see that I created this round shape, but I got rid of this, which is why I didn't even include the whole process, because I didn't want to include this. I don't know, it just looked too forced, kind of. You guys know that I really enjoy to work with some round shapes, and round shapes are really eye-catching, and it's a really easy way to make a build look more interesting. But here there was already so much going on. I think in general, when you look at the build, it's a really busy build. It's not, I don't know, there's just so much going on. At some point I thought, is it too much of everything, kind of? So the round shape was just too much, so I got rid of that. I used the spade stony goodness slab for this, and then I just placed it in a regular kind of rectangular way, like some type of fence, so I got rid of that round shape. And here I'm working on the front, so I have this once again triangular shape in the front. I used some dark color and some Get Famous windows, but I'm going to change the swatch later because from the inside I noticed that these windows are dark brown and it just didn't fit the interior, so I just changed the color. And here I'm using the Get Famous pristine pedestal. As I said earlier, once again I use this object a lot for this build. I like to use it as some type of fence, to create some round shapes, to create some round roofs. It's just amazing. I love this. It's my favorite object in the whole game probably. I also use some cats and dogs debug rocks all around the front section, the flat base game bush, and here I'm working on the front section. So this little white frame that you can see here, the thin white frame, is an object that came with spade. So it's some type of lighting strap that can be placed around a pool or inside a pool, and the Sims can walk over it. It's not blocking a Sims path, which makes it just perfect to decorate the floor. It just looks amazing. I like to use it for all kinds of different things, especially for modern builds, and I can totally recommend it when you're using two different floor colors next to each other. Sometimes it just, I don't know, it just looks off, it looks unfinished, and then I just like to use this little object. It just ties it all together. It looks more polished. It adds a bit of detail. I just really love to do that. And here I'm working on the interior finally. Working on this interior was a lot of fun, and I started off by placing the sized up table in the corner because I just had to place something eye-catching in this corner, so I really just used it to represent this beautiful plant which I placed on top of this little table, and then I just ran for it and started to work on the kitchen. Sometimes it's hard to just find the perfect spot for a kitchen, but this spot was just perfect. It's like some type of little nook next to the stairs, and I wanted to have a extra special kitchen. So what I did was I used some island counters to create this curved shape, and the colors I used are really black, really gray. It's a super monochrome kitchen, and because of this color scheme, it looks very simple and basic, and this way, this round shape that I created with the island counters really stands out. It just looks extra special. There's just not too much going on. If I would have used a lot of color and a lot of clutter, maybe it wouldn't even be as eye-catching, wouldn't stand out, or would be just too much because it's kind of a crazy shape for a counter. But I wanted to have something extra special, and I used these small spade side tables, and I just kind of merged them into the island counters. Of course, I have the move objects cheat activated as always, so I was just able to push this table inside the island counter, and it almost looks as if it's supposed to be this way. And I just placed a couple of plants there, just a little bit of clutter at least. And I also created this little nook to place two fridges next to each other, and this way it's like this typical mansion situation where you have a fridge and freezer combo, but of course it's just a fridge here, but I just placed two next to each other to imitate this look. The whole interior is super dark, where the exterior is a mix of really bright and dark colors, but here I don't know, just start to work on a room, in this case the kitchen, and I actually mostly like to start with the kitchen, and then I just build something in a specific style and color scheme, and then I just stick to this kind of style. And here I just felt like building a really dark kitchen. I also used these really dark windows, so they're kind of a contrast on the exterior, and then I just rolled with it and decided to have a really dark color scheme. And here I'm building a kind of a custom fireplace mantle. What I did was I used the Get Famous pristine pedestal once again, and I stacked two of them on top of each other on both sides, and then I used a base game shelf in the center, and this way I could place some decorations on top, and it just looks like a mix of something that's really modern and still like some type of more traditional fireplace mantle. I just wanted to have a bit of fun with the interior as well, because on the exterior I always combine all kinds of different things to have a really crazy and fun exterior. And I also try to incorporate some fun tricks and combinations on the interior. So in a way you have some custom objects that you can create yourself, stuff that doesn't even exist in this game, and this is what's so much fun. I mean, I'm a no CC builder, as you guys know, and these kind of things are really fun. Playing without CC makes you just have to think outside the box, which is something that I really enjoy. I used to play with CC for the longest time back then before I started this channel, and this kind of forced me to think outside the box, which is a lot of fun, especially on the exterior. This is my favorite part about building, but on the interior as well. Here, for example, I used a debug wall divider, which is part of city living, and then I used this dine out table surface to just kind of hide the bottom, because there were some signs at the bottom, and this way, because of the sign at the bottom, there were just some type of letters. It looked more like something that you would see in a restaurant, for example, in some kind of commercial area on a community lot, but I wanted this to be perfect for a residential lot, so I just hid this. But I could totally see this on a community lot. It would just be perfect, like some type of sign at the bottom that is telling your Sims something, basically. Just beautiful. And this is one of the bathrooms. Again, super dark, and this can be a bit tricky when you're using a super dark wall color and floor color. Even when you're using enough lamps on the inside, it's still super dark and you don't even see what's going on, so that's a bit tricky. I think it's much easier when you're working with brighter colors. You can even see the contrast here. Oh, and the floor, I haven't talked about the floor yet. The floor is actually the sheet metal roof. You can find it in the roof pattern section, and you can also find it in the floor section. And this is where it looks so industrial. So I was going for this really industrial look. The interior doesn't look warm or inviting at all, where I used a lot of wood on the exterior. I didn't really do that on the interior. It's really modern, really industrial. And here for the office, I was going a bit crazy with the whole table situation. I used a round table in the center, and this is kind of the main table with a computer and a chair, and then I placed the Discover University tables, which can be used with bar stools around it, and I added additional computers. What I usually like to do is I place a desk and then just a desk and a computer and a chair and all that, and then I place 2 armchairs on the other side, like in some type of office situation where someone is sitting on one side of the desk and then there are people on the other side having a conversation or something. And I like to do that because it looks like a really typical office situation, but also because when one of your Sims hangs out at the PC, the other Sims can just take a seat and they can just have a conversation, and that's like, I like that. That's perfect. Just like when Sims have a conversation, they hang out in the same room, there's just some extra space. But here I went a bit further and I added multiple computers, so it's like a office corner where your whole Sim family can hang out, or probably the visitors, your guests. We all know that Sims who come over to visit your Sims only love to hang out on your computer, but yeah, of course you could get rid of them if you only want to have one, but I thought it would be a funny idea. It looks really futuristic and modern, and the whole interior is a bit crazy, so I figured this could be a fun idea. This here is one of the bedrooms. Actually, I ran for a blue color scheme, and this here, my friends, is a bit crazy. So I used these wall dividers, as you know, and they are glitching into the house, and I didn't want to change the position. At first I wanted to, but then I figured I could make a whole art installation out of this, so I just used this super bright wall color. It's so bright, it's like a lamp. I think it indeed is like some type of lamp, because when it's dark it's illuminating the surrounding. It's just amazing. And then I just placed some decorations there, so it's a really sophisticated art piece. And sometimes when I use some crazy building objects like the spotty monoliths or anything, when something is glitching inside the house, sometimes I just like to incorporate these objects to have some really over-the-top crazy interiors. And here it was like a really lucky coincidence, and I just, yeah, like a happy accident, and I just used it. I just went with it, and I can recommend that. And here I'm working on one of the sunrooms. I'm finally adding some palm trees, and here at this point up until this point, I had no idea what I would like to do with this area. I just thought it would be fun to have these palm trees because, as I said, I already used some palm trees in other areas of the build, and it's just amazing that we have this bridge at the top. It looks really modern, and I just added a table, some chairs, and yeah, Sims can just hang out there and have a great time. It's like a sauna in summer, and yeah, luckily Sims don't have to deal with these kind of things. And talking about a sauna, I actually included a sauna in this build. I didn't record this because it was a last minute decision. So there is this area which I talked about earlier where I just used walls to create this area, which almost looks like some columns where I used the Moschino stuff pack wallpaper at the very bottom. And I completely forgot about this area. Like, I furnished the whole build and I forgot about this area. It's just a small room, so I included a sauna down there, so you have a proper sauna and not just the weird sunroom. And this here is the other sunroom area. I used this floor, which is just like lawn, and I again included a table and all that. I forgot to place a door there earlier, and here I'm also using the spotty object that I talked about earlier. It's just perfect. You can see now it's perfect. I had this weird, it just didn't look right in my opinion. The lawn was just ending somewhere, and then the other flop tiles were starting over there. So I just love this object so much. What can I say? And this is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I have included a lot of screenshots as always, and you can find this build in the gallery. It's fully furnished, it's CC free, and even though I used the tool mod, it's unmodded in the gallery, so you don't need the mod. You can just download it, you can place it, and your Sims can move in if you want to. I built this in Delsa Valley on the 64x64 lot. I'm just mentioning this in case you want to place it on the exact same lot. It's amazing because your Sims have this great view over Delsa Valley. It's just perfect. And as I said in the beginning of the video, I finally made the tool mod tutorial. So if you are interested in this, if you want to learn how you can create all kinds of different things with this mod, as you just saw, I used it a lot in this video. So just go check it out if you are interested in it. I'm going to link it down below. And yeah, I hope that you have a perfect day and a perfect week. And I hope that you all stay safe. I know that times are a bit difficult at the moment. I know that a lot of people are a bit scared and all that. I just want to say that I hope that all of you stay healthy, that you are safe, and I just love all of you so much, and I hope I see you in the next video. Bye bye.